guidelines that you may be following for the same?
Yes, so we follow the infectious disease guideline, the American Academy of Pediatric guidelines we follow. So we do practice evidence-based medicine in our medical group. So we have a department and we rely on evidence-based guideline out there to kind of help us with the antibiotic choices. We have an EMR system that we embed guidelines in the otitis media and in various clinical diagnoses where we can pull it up if necessary. Some doctors use it and some don't, because as I say, it's such a bread and butter kind of a diagnosis for us that we always keep in top line. That's only the 3 I can tell you right now on top of my head antibiotic that we use as a first line, which is a penicillin base, the amoxicillin, the first line. The clavulanic, the amoxicillin with clavulanic, which is augmentin, as a second line, and then you use a cephalosporin if those 2 fail as a third line, and then kids with penicillin allergy of some sort, then you go for the erythromycin base as the first line. So that's pretty much what we use for 80% of the pediatric otitis media, and again, there's a few outliers, but those are far and few in between where you have to kind of consider the more potent, like the Pseudomonas or the resistant strep pneumo, that we have to kind of change our antibiotic therapy and switch to the second or third line as a first line. But those are far and few in between. But the gold standard is still using amoxicillin at a super high dose. So we push them to 60 to 80 milligram per kilo, as long as we don't make them puke or having severe diarrhea. That's still the first line. So it's very limited.
Got it. That makes
There's only a few antibiotics that we have at our fingertip. And the pathology, besides the resistance that has been emerging because of the overused antibiotic or whatever it is, or just the bug getting smarter, besides a few resistant bugs that we have to be cognizant about, the therapy, the recommendation hasn't changed that much. The recommendation to treat or not to treat has changed, but the antibiotic therapy hasn't changed.
Okay. So since you mentioned amoxicillin and probably you're using some high doses of the same, do you think there are any adverse effects associated with the high dosage use of amoxicillin or even other antibiotics that are currently being used in the treatment regimen?
Oh, totally. I mean, when it's a catch-22, right? So if you use a Wimpy like 40 to 60, you may not get the resolution. You push 60 to 80, you may deal with GI side effects, which is the most common side effect, and that can also lead to compliance issues, and also you creating another monster by treating the first monster. So we have to walk that fine line, and then sometimes kids who can't tolerate the GI side effect, then you have to switch to a different class to mitigate some of that GI side effect. But yeah, the GI in the amoxicillin family, the GI side effect probably one of the most common complaint from the parents about when we start the kids on it.
Okay, got it. That makes sense, doctor. All right. So going forward, so in this entire treatment paradigm, is there any do you think rather change that has happened in the treatment paradigm due to the use of the new vaccines PCV7 and PCV13, and how have they changed the landscape of otitis media?
Oh
treatment?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that has. So Prevnar 13 came out probably in the last 15 years or because it's something that I don't remember. It just started when I just started practice. When it just started, we start talking about the Prevnar. I think it was 7, and now it's a 13. It has been a huge impact on the otitis media landscape. I think the vaccination has reduced the probability of otitis media in children significantly. I definitely do see the children who are vaccinated, they still have it, but the recurrence or the resistance or the frequency of it has gone down a lot since the vaccine. But what I don't know if you're aware of this, but in California, especially in Orange County where I live, it has been kind of a interesting demographic where we have a lot of parents who, one way or another, refuse vaccines, and the number has Canada has gotten up on the rise, even with the new law saying that you have to be fully vaccinated to attend public school. But these parents always find loopholes, or they keep